Welcome in, thanks for stopping by again on such short notice. We are back with another big, beautiful edition of IDP. I'm in traveling and I'm in even probably a worse location than I was the last couple weeks as far as the light. And not just because of the light, but the light and the audio probably questionable. Today's Doucheisode features all artists with female lead vocalists, or at least primarily female lead vocalists. Sometimes people feel the need to tell me that they don't like female vocalists, which I think is pretty bizarre, but it happens. Anyway, we have new indie pop, alternative rock, we'll call it, a bit of poppy shoegaze in here as well. But we're a bit more, I think, indie pop leaning this Doucheisode, I would say. As always, I would encourage you to crack open an ice cold beer. You know, the fridge is small, but there's plenty of beer in there. There's always beer in the fridge, and if you can reach it, you can drink it. You're also always welcome to, you know, wrap your fingers around a big, juicy meat stick. And also today I've got I've got a sack of beans. If you want a sack of chili flavored broad beans, you're more than welcome to them. All right, let's go ahead and get started. First up, we have the third album from what is now a trio with bassist Maggie Gaster joining the core duo of Alicia Jeanines, at least that's how I'm saying it, and Jed Smith. They call themselves the Jeanines, and the new LP is titled How Long Can It Last? It's out now on Slumberland Records. This is lo-fi, jangly, folky indie pop, big Sarah Records C86 vibes with late 60s Baroque pop, and I would even say like 1960s girl groups vibes as well. Some 12-string guitars, some more surfy sounds also. I think this is another fantastic album from Jeanines. Super catchy, energetic, melodic, super sweet indie pop songs, mildly pop psyche as well in places. And once again, as is always the case with the Jeanines, these are super short songs and therefore a short album overall. We're talking about 13 tracks weighing in at about 22 minutes. Only 2 of the songs break the 2-minute mark. In some ways, I think it maybe leaves you wanting more, but in other ways, I think it is just efficiently giving you exactly what you need to hear and not banging you over your head with it. Again, this is a strong recommendation for the indie pop kids out there. I would say again, could be on the twee side for the kind of high tea folks out there, but those that can roll with this sort of thing, I think we'll find a lot to like here. Anyways, big fan of the Jeanines or Jeanines, and also a big fan of this new album, which is titled How Long Can It Last?
Say a little prayer for something real till the skin begins to heal. Pulling back the film that's settled in the crease of my eye. Even if I start to cry, your life is turning blue. I wanna lay in the grass with you. Watch that leaves turning green and new. On and on and on again. On and on and on again.
All right, next we have the latest full-length release for the band called Smut. The name of the album, it's titled Tomorrow Comes Crashing, and it is out now on Bayonet Records. These guys were originally formed in Cincinnati, but have since relocated to the Chicago area, or the city of Chicago. We talked about their last LP when it was released, I think back in 2022. That one was called How the Light Felt. Since that album was released, I believe that the lineup has changed. And I think that you hear that on this record. Still has that late 80s to 90s college rock slash alternative rock sound with a little shoegaze, and then you have Tay Roebuck's pleasing lead vocal. I would say maybe a bit more aggressive, maybe slightly grungy sound with some screaming slash yelling involved. But still, I would say mostly overall has the vibe of something that could be heard on like mainstream alternative rock radio in the mid 1990s. It's melodic, angsty, alternative rock. At times the vocals kind of remind me of Harriet Wheeler from the Sundays, just a little bit. I actually think I prefer the sound of the previous album to this one, maybe just a bit, but I think this one could possibly bring them a wider audience. I think it's possibly more crowd pleasing. Yeah, so that is the 5-piece band. They're called Smut, and their new album is titled Tomorrow Comes Crashing.
How is it different if I pay no attention? How is it different? I'm too tired to please. How is it different if I am exactly the person he wants me to be? I'm crying, but I'm naked. So it's of no consequence. Today they told me where to be, to give another glass of blood. More repairs than living parts. I'm fooling everyone. Touch and go. Touch and go. This is what I want.
All right, the San Francisco Bay Area indie pop quartet called Ryli, R-Y-L-I, have recently released what I believe to be their debut LP, and it is titled Come and Get Me, and it is out now on Dandy Boy Records. This group features Ya Ming Chen from Ya Ming and the Rumors, who I think is an underrated vocalist. Also features guitarist Rob Good of The Goods, bassist Luke Robbins, who's also in Ya Ming and the Rumors, and drummer Ian McBrayer, formerly of the band Healing Potpourri. This album has a very pleasing kind of classic indie pop sound with maybe a little bit of dream pop layered in. It's sunny, melodic, has catchy hooks, some cinematic, atmospheric jangle, and has a little bit of twang, just a little hint of twang in it as well. Occasionally brings to mind bands like Camera Obscura, The Pastels, Ladybug Transistor, and Marine Girls, I would say. I've really been enjoying this one over the last week and a half, I would say. It's a really splendid debut. Again, that is the group Ryli, R-Y-L-I, and the LP is titled Come and Get Me, and it is out on Dandy Boy Records. Okay, the Market Harborough UK-based duo, which is called Hidden Eyes, have just released what I believe, I'm not really sure, but I believe is their 4th album, which is titled Seeking Certainty. I actually do not know a ton about these guys aside from the fact that it's really like home recorded and that they are like a brother-sister duo. It's my understanding. As a result, this is pretty lo-fi. It feels homemade. It is, I would call it shoegaze pop in the vein of like early Creation Records with some C86 thrown in for good measure. It's melodic, fuzzy indie pop. Both of them sing, although the female vocalist again is primary. It can get a little bit abrasive maybe just a little bit, but never for too long. I think the lo-fi-ness or the lo-fi nature of this could be a deal breaker for some. Also, the drum machine, I know, turns some folks off. Can at times maybe evoke a very lo-fi Betty Serveert, Blake Babies, maybe even like someone like Magna Pop during the, a little bit less gazy moments. Anyway, that is the band Hidden Eyes. Discogs, I actually looked, has exactly 0 bands named Hidden Eyes. It's kind of surprising. Anyway, so their new album is titled Seeking Certainty.